me, Tharun Chelley for T.O.C, aka Total Obvious Comedy. How are you all doing today? So it's another day, another reaction, another video I need to watch, and the theme today, boxing. Now before I started doing this channel and before I was a comedian and everything, I actually I've been boxing for a long time, for the majority of my life, and it's a big sport. It's a sport that I'm very passionate about. So the big fight coming up, well, the one that we are looking forward to coming up to next year is Tyson Fury versus Anthony Joshua. And this is probably the biggest fight in British boxing history, definitely. But in terms of the boxing history, yeah, it's a huge one. So that's something that we need to all pay attention to. Now, there's loads of videos out there showcasing this fight, well, what their thoughts are and what it could lead to. But I want to discuss this, but I thought one thing that I always use to discuss my things is Motivedia. Now, what they do is they do some amazing build-up videos when it comes to big fights. They did it for, they've done loads for Pacquiao, they've done loads for obviously Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder, Anthony Joshua, they've done them all. Even Dylan White and Povetkin, they've done them all. So definitely if you get a chance, check them out and subscribe to their channel. And they've got a new one which is about Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury, so let's check it out. So you can already see a continuity error here. I've actually had to push the camera back so you can see my little screen as it pops up very soon. Alright, here we go. So here we are. Alright, let's get it going.
He said he's the greatest boxer that's ever lived and that will ever live. You don't think he's hyped himself?
David Haye? I've actually met David Haye before.
The greatest ever?
He didn't know who I was.
A collision course and rivalry that's gained momentum for the best part of a decade. And while some of boxing's biggest showdowns are inevitable,
yeah, he did. You called him that for a while.
Every reason to believe otherwise.
The chickens, they don't want to fight. He didn't want to fight Wilder for $80 million. He ain't gonna fight me for no amount of money.
Impressively, their last
well, yeah, there is some truth to, well, depends which side of the fence you fall on there.
And the butterfly stung like a bee.
This fight is gonna be all over.
Factors that helped build an all
Still gives me goosebumps, that fight.
Into an era-defining opportunity. So with legacy on the line, the spotlight now burns down onto a clash of character. An absorbing narrative.
Mission impossible to be
Good point.
And onto two of sport's most prominent figures.
But if he sees me, you wouldn't say that to me.
Press the notification bell to see all our latest uploads as we look at Fury versus Joshua.
Make sure you do subscribe to these guys. They are really good, especially if you're a fight fan. Make sure you do.
Welcome to a Motivedia presentation.
I got one thing. We're gonna need a bigger boat.
Last December, the wheels were in motion for Fury's most dedicated, airtight training camp.
And that's what it is. That's why they're not allowed in the gym and all that. Because I'm not here. I'm not a movie star. I'm fighting for my life here.
And where
this is when he was training for the Wilder fight, wasn't it?
Cut, one surprising offer seemed to slip through the cracks.
If you need me for sparring, I'll go out to America and spar Tyson Fury and get him ready for this Wilder fight.
Yeah, I remember seeing that.
Nothing like Wilder, but I'd like to bring him over and give him a good hiding anyway. But, you know, they're not going to come, let's face it, they're not going to come over and...
Oh. Yeah, sorry, just to pause it. I actually remember them saying that when Joshua was going to... Well, when Fury was building up to fight Wilder, they were talking about Joshua sparring Fury, and that would have been very interesting to see, but unfortunately it didn't happen. But, you know, would have given us a taste of what to come. But let's carry on.
Beat up in sparring.
Despite the hype, nothing materialized. Though what we did see was a new wave of curiosity and speculation regarding a potential mega fight.
Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua.
It's just too big of a fight, guys. That's the biggest fight of all time.
Unbelievable, brilliant clash of styles.
The winner would be the undisputed champion by any measure.
However, it certainly wouldn't have been the first meeting between the
all
two.
reputable sources there.
The ropes.
Tyson Fury come down, and then my coach said, "Oh, this is the guy in the paper who's saying if he can get knocked out, then he gets a Rolex watch." So,
looking back almost a decade ago to when the first seeds were planted, Britain's heavyweight landscape was almost...
That's a young Tyson Fury there with his full head of hair. That's so true. Oh, come on. They put me an advert in the middle.
Like that.
Sorry about that, everyone. A little advert popped up in the middle.
David Hay had moved up from cruiserweight and taken his first few scalps in boxing's top tier.
The last time an undisputed champion went up to heavyweight, what did he do? He won the title, Evander Holyfield. I'm bigger than Evander Holyfield. Really? Yeah, I am.
And with Chisora
I remember that.
on the fringes, it was
I was at uni when that happened, when David Hay was fighting Klitschko.
Stood alongside Fury as
Oh,
Britain's top
he's a what
20
could have been, David Price.
That's unbelievable. He's done. He's counted out. What on earth has David Price got in that right hand of his? It is a lethal weapon.
At this stage, Anthony Joshua
Well,
was only
we thought it
3
was.
years into any kind of boxing training, but he was moving quickly, securing a national
he looks so
title
skinny
with
there, doesn't he?
place on the GB team.
I think Joshua's maybe got the bigger bombs here.
Joshua.
However, whilst his actions under the bright lights were earning him invaluable experience, it was his actions behind the scenes.
God,
that
I need
began
to,
sending
I need to start doing some sit-ups.
Joshua?
Yeah, he's red hot, him. He's very good.
I
And
think so.
he came out at me for 3 rounds, and he gave me a beating.
Yep.
I slowed him down a bit, a few good body shots and that.
Yeah.
For him to put up a good performance like that against a top prospect in me,
You ranked
I
him.
think he's one for the future.
Fury said that. Fury said that.
Fast forward 3 years.
Oh, I love Tyson
the
Fury.
Gypsy King had racked up almost 20 victories on his route through the domestic scene. Slick performances backed up by unwavering confidence.
No, right. Oh,
And verification as the division's boogeyman by the late and great Emmanuel Stewart.
Tyson Fury has the ability, and I think in my expectations,
Emmanuel Stewart, one of the legends. It's so shame that he's passed away now, but one of the legends of the sport.
and Vladimir Klitschko.
Oh yes, this was it. This is when it all went to shit for Price.
Though where Price had met his nemesis
I remember.
Tony Thompson, suffering back-to-back losses,
Go home and break my wife's hip.
it was now the arrival of Joshua.
Oh, that was brilliant, that interview.
The chiseled, squeaky clean gold medalist that would throw a spanner in the works.
Boxing's not about being a superstar though. It's about just fighting and winning. That's what it's about for me. I just want to win.
I actually remember when they were talking about Price and Fury.
And I get that win.
Oh, good on Keegan for IFL.
Right now we're on that stay hungry and stay humble.
A man who, pairing with hotshot promoter Eddie Hearn, looked to leapfrog all of Fury's efforts with a slipstream.
Can't deny what Eddie Hearn's done for the actual sport itself.
To be a fantastic fighter. Can he go on to win a world title? I believe so. You know, but we've got a huge journey ahead of us.
Whilst there weren't many harsh words early on, the contrast in personalities and appeal told us it would be only a matter of time.
Nobody wants a Mr. Quiet, do they? Want someone who's going to hear big talk. I can talk all day, mate, and never run out of things to say. Going back to
This must have been years
Price,
ago.
who was a 2008 Olympian.
Yeah, this is
Going back to
before the
Sydney,
Klitschko
2000
fight.
Harrison. He showed promise early on and faded.
Oh, Aldi Harrison. My mate still goes on about how great Aldi Harrison was. Never happened, mate. Aldi never did it.
Time progressed, the narrative developed.
Britain's newest Olympic champion.
A lot of love for Anthony Joshua here.
Oh, come on.
Are you ready for something? He sure ain't. You know that's not
Stop sending me stupid adverts.
gonna fly with the ladies.
Sorry, everyone. This
AJ's
is what happens.
positivity and family-friendly appeal turned him into boxing's new heavyweight hero.
Winning the Olympics was Price's experience as well, and this is my pro debut. There's only one pro debut, and we ended it in spectacular fashion.
Whilst Fury's antics and unpredictability helped construct the perfect pantomime villain.
Oh, it was the Chisora fight, wasn't it?
What can I say to this man? That's a monkey belly. Come on, take your shirt off. You're a fat bunny.
I couldn't give a hoot what people think about me, you know. Like we're just talking about there, the true Brit. They don't class me as British anyway. I'm just a big jippo from somewhere. You know, love me or hate me, I'm still going to win anyway.
Unfortunately, he's talking some truth there.
Though, whilst their paths didn't look to be crossing anytime soon, both men had their
Unfortunately,
critics. Joshua was considered too big and muscle-bound.
Just pause this quickly. Unfortunately, Fury was talking some truth there. I mean, that's why I think, especially in England, amongst the Asian and the black community, we took Tyson Fury to our hearts quite quickly, because even though he is a white boxer, he's still seen as like, you know, his people, the traveller community, have been shat on quite a lot, just as our communities have. So we kind of saw him as one of our own, and that's why for us, you know, Tyson Fury is, you know, he's representative. He's actually a minority himself, so that's what it is. But anyway, let's carry this on.
Whereas Fury was apparently too clumsy and overweight.
They want a dummy fool who can tell what to do, like Anthony Joshua. Ooh. And tell him what to say, and he rehearses it, and then he goes and says it.
Insults that each would use as ammunition towards one another. Fortunately, with their own scintillating styles, they continued to prove people wrong. Despite
He's so good.
Putting on boxing clinics, delivering
He's so good.
beatdowns,
Oh, the Chisora fight, he destroyed Chisora. That was the second one.
Shadow. As with his exciting style and polished charm, Joshua drew a far wider audience, one that extended far beyond the boxing purists. That was, of course, until Fury backed up every single word out in Dusseldorf.
You seem like you're enjoying the ride. You seem very, very confident. You know something we don't.
I probably know a lot of things you don't.
Is this his boxing destiny?
What I have is the agility and the speed over you.
Oh, the Klitschko fight. Oh, I remember this. This was huge. Oh, mate, he schooled Klitschko. She schooled him.
We all know how the story went, and where Fury's biggest victory encouraged his toughest downfall. It gave AJ an opportunity to capitalize.
And how many people are you going to make lose?
Because I was there.
Bet against the house. You never bet against the house. The house always wins.
A 2-year window in which the Brit faced all comers, taking out
Oh,
a
Dylan
handful
White.
of top 10 names.
Oh, Charles Martin.
Not even UK heavyweight.
To be fair, he has fought good competition.
Tyson Fury ain't to me. Yeah, he's a champion, but that don't really mean nothing to me when I'm dealing with Fury.
We often see fighters jumping in too far at the deep end to face an eventual reality check.
The leap up in level.
But Joshua stepped up to the plate each time out, cementing himself as the division's #1.
Oh, Takam. To be fair, I think that stoppage against Takam was too early.
Though, with Fury gone, there was one fight which appealed to the public more than any other. One that drew more criticism
Oh, Wilder.
and frustration as negotiations continued to fall through.
Who's the real heavyweight champion?
Oh, fucking hell, these adverts are pissing me off. I know I'm a YouTuber, but
essays that inspire.
so sorry everyone, this keeps happening, but it's the nature of the beast, it's YouTube, what happens.
These guys lie so much about so much stuff, it's crazy. You know what I mean?
They don't want this fight. If they did, they'd take the fight.
This has turned into a Riddick Bowe and a Lennox Lewis effect. And if so, then you need to go.
That's another what could have been.
Because I am coming.
All you got to do is set the date. Don't wait.
That was, of course, until another remarkable turn of events.
Unfortunately, it looks like that's what's happened though, isn't it?
An inspirational return to the sport and an opportunity to face one of the most dangerous men the sport has ever produced to reclaim his crown.
Nobody will ever know the deepness and the truth of this journey.
If I can't annihilate this division, this weak, poor division, with no boxers in it at all, then I must be useless myself. I'll never be able to call myself the Gypsy King anymore for losing to a weightlifter and a football player. And the fact that I've chosen you, that I've had 2 fights coming back, and I won this fight, is a statement for the world to see.
In the last 18 months, both men in different
mate.
forms have taken dents to their records. Joshua's came in the form of a loss to Andy Ruiz last
Oh,
year.
Ruiz, yeah.
Tidy up, brush up the cobwebs and go again.
Whereas Fury's came 6 months after in the form of a controversial draw against the Bronze Bomber.
But I still believe I won the fight.
He won that fight. Yeah, Fury won that.
Equally, and most crucially, both men showed the ability to persevere, to sacrifice, and to adapt. As in their latest bouts, the question marks were removed in emphatic style.
Oh yeah. Oh, that fight. Whoa. Fury Wilder 2.
Production of slick footwork and fluid movement is now overshadowed by Fury's newfound ability to produce explosive power and front-footed aggression. The switch of styles now turns this showdown into a survival of the fittest.
Kronk Gym, yeah.
What is arguably
I'd love to train there.
Bigger fight than
I'd love to
Joshua
train
Wilder
there.
in the process. Despite a mutual respect between the two, both men are supremely confident and have no problem reminding us.
AJ can't box. He's a big old wood on top like this here.
He ain't the brains of Britain, Joshua, is he? Yeah, man. Stay humble, yo. You keep it real, man.
I think he's a bit of a clown. To be honest, I find it a bit irritating.
You couldn't pay me £1 million to lose to Anthony Joshua.
I know he's gonna look at me and think to himself, boy, if one of these right hands touch me, boy, I'm gonna be in pain.
Who comes in this fight ring general?
Ring general?
Yeah.
Me.
Ooh. That's the question. That's the question.
Wilder, but outclassed and bulldozed him.
Destroyed Wilder.
Joshua totally
Destroyed
nullified
him.
An even bigger version of Ruiz, who barely raised an eyebrow all night.
He outboxed him. I'll give it that. He outboxed him in that fight. Take about he outboxed him.
How AJ will cope with the mind games and the press conferences will be a huge factor.
Flat out called you pussy. That's gotta irritate you at the least.
You gotta know what to expect from these type of characters.
And how Fury will cope against a bigger and stronger opponent will be
You're
another.
gonna say to me, oh, boo, you're sticking with the matching by the book. I just think AJ's style would be all wrong for Tyson Fury.
Though the tactics are what turn this showdown into a true 50-50.
Oh, he always supports AJ though.
He can win with that style.
And which version of
Teddy
themselves
Atlas.
arrives on the night will make all the difference.
AJ will have to try things to see how they work, and Tyson will have to try things to see how they work. The first round will be important.
The best of enemies, Fury's bravery and willingness to test himself has reopened the flow.
Shitting out. So sorry everyone. I know it kills the mood. It literally kills the momentum of the video. The fuck? What the hell is this shit? Ew! I don't want to see that. I'm watching a... Okay, luckily, hopefully we won't have any more adverts. It's bullshit sometimes.
The deal has apparently been agreed as negotiations continue.
There's still obstacles to overcome, but I think we have a deal. I'm confident that we're moving towards the biggest fight in boxing in 2021.
Though, with a legacy on his mind since day one, Joshua's whole career has led to this moment.
The best view, do you know what I mean? So I'm not worried, I'm not scared. I'm looking forward to these challenges because at least I find out who I am as a fighter.
In a sport that features two men competing at their most primal level, it's unavoidable.
Oh, Dylan White.
Personal rivalry would become a driving.
Oh yeah, White Povetkin, that's coming up soon.
Fancy Joshua, lots of Tyson. It's literally a 50-50.
When Tyson Fury boxes AJ, we're shaking it now with the cameras here. We'll have a friendly 50.
Oh yeah, this is IFL that did this.
You got it, yeah? You got it.
Billy Joe Saunders and Eddie Hearn.
We see the sport's two most influential big game players collide. Giants, both physically and metaphorically.
His journey to greatness starts now.
And where fans are often too quick to draw comparisons between great fighters of the past to those of today.
Tyson Fury, you're going to have to bring everything you got to beat him.
He was a power puncher in his day, George Foreman.
Unification bout in the coming 12 months might just be the perfect time to do so.
Fury versus Joshua, summer of next year. I hope they can do it sooner.
Don't we all? I didn't see the rest of it. I'm so serious to saying like that. Okay, so great video there, as always by Motivedia. My main criticism, you're probably going to know it. If only they could find a way to put the adverts and all that lot at the start of the video, at the very end, not in between, because it really fucked up the momentum of the video, and it took me out of it. I was like, there's points where I was getting into that, I was like, yeah, this is good, and then a fucking advert. What about bloody earwax? That was gross. I don't want to watch that. I'm learning about Fury versus Joshua. If they could find a way, I know I understand monetizing, you want to make money and everything, but if you could find a way to not put it in between your video, that would be cool. So yes, AJ versus Fury should be interesting to see what happens from this. It's going to be the biggest fight in my lifetime. It'll be the biggest fight in British boxing history, without a doubt. They showed some good stuff in there actually at the start. You know, that interview at the start, which was David Haye. That was when there was talks of David Haye versus Tyson Fury, and that time that was going to be billed as the biggest fight in British boxing history, was David Haye versus Tyson Fury. And then at one point they were talking about David Price versus Tyson Fury, but the difference is Price fell off and Fury just went on and became successful, became incredibly dominant. So I think it's going to be very, very interesting to see how this fight pans out. In regards to predictions, it would be very difficult to not back Fury on it, but again, you know, it's boxing, anything can happen. It's, you know, Joshua proved against Ruiz that in the second fight that he can actually box. A lot of people thought he would just come forward and just go boom boom, DJ punch, but he doesn't do that now. He can actually box and have a boxing match with someone, and that's still been the thing, that Fury will outbox him. But then it was always like saying, well, Fury will outbox him, but AJ's got that punching power. He'll just knock a guy out. He'll just knock Fury out straight away. But then Fury proved against Wilder, he can knock a guy out. So it's so now it's like it becomes a lot more even than it was originally.
They did make a very good point at the start of that video, that the British heavyweight scene did look very different not too long ago. Well, about 10-15 years ago, it looked very different. Yeah, it was shit, basically. It wasn't great. And then this was when it was during the Klitschko era, the British heavyweight scene was more or less non-existent. I mean, we had Danny Williams, Matt Skelton. So there was, I mean, and then Audley Harrison was meant to be our great hope, but he just fell apart. And when David Haye came about, he was meant to try and, came up from cruiserweight to heavyweight to compete with Klitschko, and he lost the fight against Klitschko, and then Klitschko carried on his dominance. And it's just, so in many ways, Fury kind of saved boxing, especially the British heavyweight boxing division. He kind of saved it when he beat Klitschko. And now, if you look at the British heavyweight division, it's so bloody good. We're kind of, in many ways, I feel that we're in British boxing, especially British heavyweight boxing, we're kind of in a golden age, because we've got so many good fighters. We've got obviously Fury, AJ, but we've got got Dylan White, we've got Joe Joyce, we've got Dubois. We've got even Chisora every now and then pops in and out. So we've got such a wealth of great talent now. So it's as a British fight fan, it is very exciting right now.
I don't know. I just want to watch it. I just want to see it happen, and I actually feel that AJ versus Wilder probably won't happen. I've got a feeling that won't happen. I want to see Dylan White and Povetkin. That's coming up soon. Make sure you watch that. Hopefully Motivedia will do a video about that, and we'll review that one as well. With all the adverts in between, I can't get enough of it. Or sponsorships, I don't know. Whatever. So yes, what do you guys think? Do you think it's going to be a win for AJ? Do you think it's going to be a win for Fury? Who knows? Who knows what it's going to be? So let me know if there's anything else you want me to watch, by all means. Alright, as always guys, like, subscribe, take care, and fuck off.